The moment the engine died, the street went silent, not normal silence, but the kind that feels aimed at you. The woman didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't even blink. "Don't look at it," she said. Too late, she already had. The thing standing in the middle of the road wasn't rushing them. It wasn't attacking, it wasn't even trying to hide. It was waiting. The woman's hand hovered over the ignition like she could will the car back to life. "Nothing, not even a click. It's not killing the engine," she said. "It's killing everything around you." The street lights flickered, the air thickened, the temperature dropped so fast her breath fogged instantly. The woman finally turned her head, slow, controlled, like any sudden movement might trigger something they couldn't undo. "You need to listen to me," she said. "Because if you run the wrong direction, it won't chase you." She swallowed hard. "It'll cut you off." The creature tilted its head, not curious, not confused. Measuring, the woman reached for her door handle. "On my count," she whispered. "We move." The creature took one step forward. The pavement under its foot cracked. The woman's voice dropped to a razor-thin thread. "Not yet." The creature took another step. Closer, deliberate, certain. The woman's grip tightened. "Now." They hit the pavement at the same time, her door slamming open, the woman's boots hitting the ground, both of them moving before their brains caught up. The creature didn't rush. It didn't need to. It stepped forward once, and the air around them tightened like the whole street was holding its breath. "Stay low," the woman said. "If it sees your full height, it'll map your spine." She didn't know what that meant, but she didn't argue. She crouched, moving fast, feet slapping the asphalt, the cold biting through her clothes like she'd stepped into a freezer. Behind them, the creature took another step. The sound wasn't footsteps. It was pressure, like the ground was being told to move. The woman grabbed her arm and yanked her behind a parked delivery van. "Don't look under it," she said. "It'll use the reflection." The creature's shadow stretched across the street, long and deliberate, sliding toward the van like it was choosing which angle to approach from. The woman pressed her back against the metal. "It's not hunting you," she said. "It's retrieving you." The van's side panel dented inward, not from impact, but from something pressing against it from the outside with slow, crushing force. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. "It knows exactly where you are." The metal groaned. The dent deepened. The creature's fingers pushed through the steel like it was soft clay. The woman grabbed her hand. "When I move, you move." The fingers curled inward. Now, they ran. The van collapsed behind them. They sprinted across the street, shoes slapping the pavement, the cold cutting into their lungs like they were running through ice instead of air. Behind them, the creature didn't run. It shifted, a single, silent movement that covered half the distance they'd just gained. The woman grabbed her arm and yanked her between two buildings. "Don't stop," she said. "If you stop, it'll anchor you." She didn't know what that meant, but she didn't ask. She just ran. The alley was narrow, cluttered with trash bins and broken pallets. The woman vaulted over them like she'd done it 100 times. She followed, stumbling, catching herself on a wall slick with condensation. A deep, low vibration rolled through the alley, not sound, not footsteps, just presence. The woman froze. "No echoes," she whispered. "It's masking itself." The vibration stopped. The woman's eyes widened. "That means it's close." A metal dumpster beside them buckled inward, the steel folding like cardboard. She didn't see the creature's hand, just the imprint of its grip crushing the metal from the inside out. The woman shoved her forward. "Move." They bolted deeper into the alley, turning a corner so sharp she scraped her shoulder against the brick. The woman didn't slow. She grabbed a fire escape ladder, jumped, and pulled it down with a violent clang. Climb. She climbed, fast, hands slipping on the cold metal. Halfway up, the alley behind them went silent. Too silent. The woman looked down. "Don't look back," she said. She looked back anyway. The creature was standing at the mouth of the alley, not moving, not rushing, just watching. The woman grabbed her ankle. Higher. She climbed. The creature stepped forward once. The fire escape shook. The woman's voice dropped to a razor-thin whisper. "It's mapping your path." The creature took another step. The metal groaned. The woman looked up at her, sharp, urgent, absolute. "Get to the roof. Now." She climbed, fast, hands slipping on the cold metal, lungs burning, the fire escape rattling under her weight like it was about to tear off the wall. Below her, the woman was right behind, fast, controlled, no wasted movement. The creature stepped into the alley. The entire fire escape shook. Not from impact, from its presence. The woman grabbed the railing and hissed up at her, "Don't stop. If it touches the ladder, it'll read your bones." She didn't know what that meant, but she didn't slow. She hauled herself up another flight, boots slamming metal, breath tearing out of her chest. The creature took another step. The bolts holding the fire escape to the wall groaned. The woman looked down, just once, and her face changed. "Move." The creature reached out, not fast, not lunging, just extending its arm like it was selecting something off a shelf. The metal under her feet buckled. She scrambled upward, grabbing the next railing, pulling herself onto the final platform before the roof. The woman was seconds behind her. The creature touched the bottom rung. The entire structure jerked, like something enormous had grabbed it from below. The woman shoved her upward. Go! She threw herself onto the roof, rolling across the gravel. The woman climbed after her, pulling herself up just as the fire escape ripped free from the wall and collapsed into the alley below. The creature didn't look up. It didn't need to. It already knew exactly where she was. The woman grabbed her arm, breath sharp, eyes locked on the edge of the roof. It's not climbing, she said. It's coming another way. The air around them tightened. The woman's voice dropped to a razor-thin whisper. Run! They ran across the rooftop, gravel sliding under their shoes, the cold air hitting them like a wall. The woman didn't look back. She didn't need to. The pressure behind them was enough, a weight that felt like it was pushing the entire building forward. Keep moving, she said. If you slow down, it'll pin you. She didn't slow. She didn't breathe. She just ran. A ventilation unit beside them buckled inward, metal collapsing like something had squeezed it from the inside. She didn't see the creature, just the aftermath of its presence. The woman grabbed her arm and yanked her toward the far edge of the roof. We jumped. She froze. To where? The woman pointed to the next building, a narrow gap, too wide to clear, too far to survive if they missed. The pressure behind them intensified. The gravel under their feet shifted, sliding toward the opposite side of the roof like gravity was being rewritten. The woman didn't wait. Jump. She ran. She didn't think. She just followed. They hit the edge at full speed. The woman leapt first, clean, controlled, landing hard on the next roof and rolling to absorb the impact. She jumped after her, legs burning, chest tight, the gap rushing under her like a black void. For a split second, she didn't think she'd make it. Then the woman grabbed her wrist midair and yanked her across the edge, dragging her onto the rooftop. She hit the ground hard, breath knocked out of her. The woman didn't give her time to recover. Up, she pulled her to her feet. Behind them, the creature stepped onto the roof they'd just left. The entire building tilted. The woman's voice dropped to a sharp, absolute command. Run, now. They sprinted across the rooftop, the woman pulling her toward the far side like she already knew the next building wouldn't save them either. Behind them, the creature stepped onto the roof they'd just crossed. The entire structure dropped an inch. Not a collapse. A warning. The woman didn't look back. Don't slow down, she said. If it gets a clean line on you, it'll lock your direction. She didn't know what that meant, but she didn't argue. She ran harder, legs burning, lungs tearing, the cold slicing through her clothes like it wanted to stop her from the inside. A metal vent beside him imploded, crushed inward by something that hadn't touched it. The woman grabbed her arm. Left. They cut across the roof, weaving between vents and satellite dishes. The creature didn't follow their path. It walked straight, every step bending the roof under its weight. The woman pointed to a door leading into the stairwell. In there, they hit the door at full speed. Locked. The woman didn't hesitate. She slammed her shoulder into it once, twice. The creature took another step. The roof tilted toward it. The woman hit the door a third time. It burst open. They stumbled inside, slamming it behind them. The stairwell was pitch black. Cold. Silent. The woman grabbed her wrist. Down. Fast. They ran down the stairs, feet pounding concrete, the echo bouncing off the walls like it was chasing them. Halfway down, the lights flickered, then died. The woman stopped so suddenly she almost crashed into her. Don't move. The air in the stairwell shifted, not from above, not from below. From inside the darkness, the woman's voice dropped to a whisper so thin it barely existed. It's already here. The darkness in the stairwell wasn't empty. It had weight, like something was standing right in front of them, blocking the next step. The woman didn't breathe, didn't shift, didn't even blink. Don't move, she whispered. It's mapping the air. She didn't know what that meant, but she froze. Her heartbeat felt too loud, like it was echoing off the concrete walls. A faint pressure brushed past her shoulder, not a touch, not contact, just awareness. The woman's hand tightened around her wrist. Don't react. Something shifted in the dark below them, a slow, deliberate movement, like a body turning without sound. The stairwell air thinned, cold enough to sting her teeth. The woman leaned in, her voice barely a breath. It's not looking for us. A pause. It's waiting for you to move first. The pressure in the dark slid upward, step by step, without footsteps, without breath, without any sound at all. Just presence. The woman's grip dug into her skin. When I pull, you follow. No hesitation. The pressure stopped, right in front of them. The woman didn't wait. She yanked her sideways, slamming her through a maintenance door she hadn't even seen. They stumbled into a narrow service hallway, the door swinging shut behind them. The moment it latched, the stairwell went silent. Too silent. The woman pressed her back to the door, eyes locked on the metal. It knows we moved. A deep, slow impact hit the other side of the door, not a slam, not a strike. A test. The metal dented inward. The woman grabbed her arm. Run. They ran. The service hallway was narrow, low-ceilinged, lined with pipes that rattled as they sprinted past. The woman didn't look back. She didn't need to. The dents in the metal door behind them were getting deeper, each one sharper than the last. "Keep your head down," she said. "If it sees your face, it'll lock your pulse." She didn't know what that meant, but she ducked anyway. A pipe overhead burst, spraying freezing air across the hallway. Not steam, not water, just cold, the kind that felt like it was being pulled out of the air itself. The woman grabbed her arm and yanked her around a corner. Faster. They ran past a row of electrical panels. One of them snapped open on its own, breakers flipping violently, sparks shooting across the floor. The woman shoved her away from it. "It's cutting the exits." The hallway ahead of them flickered, light stuttering, then dying, then coming back in a dim, sickly glow. The woman stopped, not because she wanted to, because something was standing at the far end of the hall. Not the creature, not the shape from the street. Something smaller, faster, a scout, its head tilted, jerking in short, unnatural angles, like it was trying to decide which one of them to mark first. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. "Don't move." The scout twitched. The woman's grip tightened. "It's not here for me." The scout's head snapped toward her. "It's here for you." The metal door behind them buckled inward, a deep, violent dent that shook the entire hallway. The woman didn't hesitate. "Run." The scout lunged. The scout launched at him, its limbs snapping into a sprint so fast the hallway blurred around it. The woman shoved her forward. "Go." They tore down the corridor, shoes slamming concrete, the lights flickering overhead like they were being switched off one by one. The scout hit the wall behind them so hard the metal paneling buckled, then it ricocheted forward, claws scraping the floor as it accelerated. The woman grabbed her arm and yanked her through another turn. "Don't let it see your back." She didn't know how to do that while running, but she twisted just enough to catch a glimpse. The scout was already on the ceiling. Its body clung to the pipes, limbs bent at angles that didn't match anything human, its head locked on her like it was tracking a signal only it could hear. The woman pulled her harder. Left. They cut into a wider hallway, empty, echoing, too open to hide in. The scout dropped from the ceiling behind them, landing silently, its body snapping upright in one clean motion. The woman didn't slow. Door ahead. A heavy security door sat at the end of the hall, red lights flashing above it. The woman slammed her hand against the panel. Nothing. The scout sprinted. The woman hit the panel again. Still nothing. The scout was close enough now that she could hear the air tearing around its limbs. The woman grabbed her shoulders. "When it jumps, drop." The scout leapt. The woman shoved her down. The scout flew over them, hitting the door so hard the metal dented outward, its body folding and unfolding in one violent motion as it turned back toward them. The woman dragged her to her feet. "Move." The scout lunged again. The woman stepped between them. A device in her hand snapped open. A sharp, violent pulse exploded down the hallway. The scout hit the wall. Hard, but it didn't fall. It clung to the metal, head twitching, recalibrating. The woman's voice dropped to a razor-thin command. "Run, now." They ran. The scout recovered faster than anything should. Its limbs snapped back into position, body jerking upright with a violent twitch, head locking onto her like it had never lost track. The woman shoved her down another hallway. "Don't let it flank you." The scout hit the floor behind them so hard the concrete cracked, then it sprinted again, faster this time, recalibrated, locked in. The woman grabbed a metal cart and shoved it into the scout's path. It didn't slow. It tore straight through it, metal exploding across the hallway. "Left," the woman shouted. They cut into a storage room, shelves, crates, no windows, no exits except the door they came through. The woman slammed it shut. "Hold it." She pressed her weight against the door. She did the same, bracing it with her shoulder, her hands, anything she could. The scout hit the other side instantly. The impact threw her backward, the door bowing inward like it was made of cardboard. The woman shoved her back into position. "Hold it." The scout hit again. The hinges screamed. The woman reached into her jacket, pulled out a small cylindrical device, and slapped it onto the wall beside the door. A sharp, high-pitched tone filled the room. The scout froze, just for a second. The woman grabbed her arm. "Move." They sprinted through the rows of shelves, weaving between crates. Behind them, the scout slammed into the door again, harder, angrier, the metal bending inward. The woman pointed to a maintenance hatch in the floor. "Down." She dropped to her knees, ripped it open, and shoved her inside. "Go." She slid down the ladder into darkness, boots hitting metal rungs, breath shaking. Above her, the woman followed. The scout hit the door one last time. The hinges snapped. The woman dropped into the hatch and slammed it shut just as the scout's hand punched through the opening. The metal bent. The fingers curled inward. The woman grabbed her wrist. Down the ladder. Now. They descended into the dark. The hatch above them buckled. The woman didn't look up. "It's coming through." They climbed down the ladder fast, metal rungs shaking under their hands. The hatch above them kept buckling, each impact sharper than the last, like the scout was peeling the metal open one strike at a time. The woman didn't look up. Keep going. The ladder ended abruptly, no floor, no landing, just a narrow concrete ledge and a maintenance tunnel stretching into darkness. The woman dropped beside her. Move. They ran into the tunnel, the air colder than anything above, the walls sweating condensation that made the floor slick. Pipes rattled overhead, vibrating like something was crawling along them. The woman grabbed her arm. Stay center. If you touch the walls, it'll track the heat. She stayed in the middle, feet hitting the concrete in fast, uneven steps. Behind them, the hatch finally gave way. A violent metallic shriek tore down the tunnel. The woman didn't turn. It's through. A shadow flickered at the far end of the tunnel, not the scout, not the creature, something else. A shape that moved wrong, too fast, too low to the ground. The woman stopped so suddenly she almost crashed into her. No, not that way. The shape twitched, then snapped upright, its head jerking toward them like it had been waiting for the sound of their footsteps. The woman grabbed her shoulders. Back. They turned. The scout dropped into the tunnel behind them, landing in a crouch, its limbs unfolding in sharp, precise angles. Trapped. The woman stepped in front of her. Stay behind me. The scout twitched. The shape ahead twitched back. Two different things, two different signals, both closing in. The woman reached into her jacket and pulled out a second device, larger, heavier, already humming. She didn't look at her. When I throw this, you run. The scout crouched. The shape ahead lowered itself. The woman's voice dropped to a hard, final command. Don't look back. She pulled the pin.